Hello, I'm Dr. James Guy. I'm the clarinet instructor at the University of Central Missouri. In this video, we're going to work on some of the aspects of Etude number 20, the past Etude in the Missouri All-State Band audition materials. This is in set 1. There are videos posted for Etude 21, in other places. So, a couple things about this particular Etude. First of all, the meter signature is incorrect in the Carl Fisher edition. This is in 3/8 time. It's not in 3/4 time. So go ahead and fix that. Secondly, one of the major things that happens in this Etude is that students tend to play it in groups of 3. So it's going to be like 2 groups of triplets in each measure. So it's supposed to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. And I'll play it slowly for you. And 1 and 2 and 3, and that's what the 3/8 means. Okay, all too often I'll hear a student come in and they'll play it in 6/16 time, which is really weird. If it's in 6/16, it's like 2 groups of triplets, so it'd be more like. And that's really not the way it's supposed to go. So first of all, make sure you have it in 3/8 time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, and each 8th note gets 1 beat. Okay? Another thing about this, there are a variety of tempo markings for this particular piece. This Etude was actually borrowed from a work by another composer by the name of Fairling, who wrote 48 studies for oboe. Originally, they've been kind of taken over by saxophonists. Well, Rose took those 48 studies, took 32 of them, revised them, and put them into this book. This is where these Etudes come from, that they are not original compositions of Rose. So, having said that, tempos vary a lot as to which edition you look at. The edition I'm using here, it says dotted quarter note equals 60, so that would be the equivalent of the 8th note moving at 188 notes per minute. That's probably going to be a little bit fast for learning the piece. What I like to do is set the metronome slower. I'm going to start at about 120 here. So each 8th note will get 2 notes. So here's the metronome at 120. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. Okay? And by practicing at the 8th note like that, I would go ahead and whatever your tempo is, to be accurate with this, and you're going to play it several times, I know you already have, figure out what kind of tempo you're at. When you find that you know what's in the piece, know where the problem spots are, start getting those worked out, start using the metronome. And it doesn't really matter what your final tempo is. What really matters is accuracy and evenness. So if your maximum tempo is 120 to the 8th note like I was just playing, well, so be it. But accuracy and evenness counts more than playing it super fast but having little slips and slides and things that typically go wrong for us clarinetists at various points in time. So I guess the overriding philosophy here would be you can play anything fast enough if you play it enough times slow enough. That's one of my favorite sayings for my students. Corollary to that would be only perfect practice makes perfect. And obviously with this we're wanting perfection. Tempo can vary a lot. 60 for the dotted quarter is a nice target tempo. It can vary. It can go all the way up to 72 for the dotted quarter and above 72 even by the time you get to all-state tempos. So a couple of other things here as I approach the piece, and that is the dots on the 16th notes. Okay, this was written a long time ago, way over 100 years ago. The older use of that dot simply means to detach, as you heard me doing earlier. It really does not mean the modern usage of the dot, which is staccato, or what I call band staccato, where it really interrupts the melody. So this is the incorrect way, in my estimation. Okay, that kind of breaks up the flow of the melody. It kind of eliminates any kind of dynamic contrast we can do, dynamic shape we can do, and yes, we should be doing dynamics. That's another misprint in this edition. All the dynamics are left out. So if you go back to the bottom of the YouTube video here, I will include a link to written notes on everything I'm talking about here, and within those written notes will be breath marks and also the dynamics that were omitted. That's a misprint in this. If you look at it, there are absolutely no dynamics in the entire piece. So now let's get more into the piece here and how to go about preparing it. In all your beginning books at some point, because I've looked at all of them, it says to keep the right hand down as you when crossing the break. Okay, in this particular case, keep the right hand down as you begin the piece, or just put it down to begin with. So, and you can keep the right hand down, and that makes it easier getting across the break, considerably smoother. Let me do that again for you. Okay, and then when we get to measure 5, then we have to pick it up, because leaving the right hand down on the F sharp changes the tone quality too much and drops the pitch. Okay, but the first 4 measures, it really works very, very well. Just put the right hand down and leave it down. Okay. Next issue here is going to be in measure 11, and since this piece has 2 flats in it, we're going to see a lot of E flat to C fingerings. Okay, so C, we normally finger it over here on the right. We're going to have to finger C on the left a lot. Okay, so the C will have to be over here. So we call these buddy keys. C has a buddy key over here, C sharp has a buddy key over here, B natural has a buddy key over here, etc. You probably know all about this. The whole point is alternate little fingers, don't go and try and slide back and forth, because we always get a little glitch there, and it's either going to be too fast or too slow. Once again, it'll be uneven. Now, when I just play that little example here, measures 11 and 12, and actually you should just number all the measures, excuse me, so that you know exactly where I'm talking about. If you caught that, I'm keeping the right hand down through all that too. Once again, much smoother, getting back up to the E flat, getting back over the break. Now, there's another fingering in measure 15 that's going to help you out. For your 2 E flat bottom line E flats, you can play that E flat 1 and 1, so long as your bridge key is in adjustment and keeps that pad down. And it works much better than going. A little water in the key there. Okay, so try that in measure 15. Much quicker, and keeping both hands on the instrument instead of rocking up the side key keeps the instrument far more stabilized in the mouth. Okay, next issue here is in that next measure, measure 17, 18, 19, and 20. That B flat turn. Okay, that B flat turn, well, it says trill. I'm going to treat it as if it's a 5-note turn. So it's just going to go up once to C, back to B flat, down to A natural, and back to B flat. I'm going to do this slow motion for you here. So B flat like normal. Your 4th trill key there will take you up to C, then back to B flat, down to A natural, back to A flat, and then you go on through the passage. So see how that works? So slick. Let me do that in slow motion for you now. Okay, we're back. I had to stop and swab the water out of there. We were talking about the 5-note turns at measures 17 through 20. So I was just about to do those in slow motion for you. So B flat, up to the top trill key, triller 4, back to B flat, down to A, back to B flat. And I do it as a triplet. And that works out pretty well. Even though you're going at a slower tempo, it's still okay to do it just as a 5-note turn. To do is okay, but it works out just as well going with the 5-note turn idea. Okay. Now, breathing, as I mentioned, is kind of an issue in here too. So I would put a breath mark at the end of measure 24 at the slipped off the key there. At the end of measure 24, and put a little rubato in there as I approach that. We're going to have to take a breath somewhere. We might as well prepare the breath in a more musical way, and by using a little rubato there, a little ritardando, and then back to tempo at measure 25 should work out fine. Okay, most of the problems are contained right in this area. The only other issues, you're already now comfortable with using C on the left. We're going to do that again in measure 26, in measure 30, and I thought there was one other place here that we need to use that, but that's really the extent of the really special kinds of issues. Everything else, like I say, is pretty straightforward from this point on. So, I hope this has helped you. You can email me about anything you don't understand. Check out the website, look at the printed notes here if you would. My email is gai@ucmo.edu. I do answer emails fairly frequently. If you are in the area, make a visit to campus. I'm more than willing to take a half hour and work with you on the etudes. First lesson is always free, so don't feel bad about that. And if a couple of students are coming approximately at the same time, we may do this as a group lesson to get through it. In that fashion, we can do the slow etude as well. So, once again, hope this helps you. Look forward to seeing you, and good luck at all district auditions, and hope to see you at All-State auditions. Thanks.